The dhole moves through the forest with a presence that is felt more than seen. It does not dominate the landscape through size, nor does it announce itself with the confidence of larger predators. Instead, it survives through coordination, awareness, and an intelligence shaped by cooperation. Known also as the Asiatic wild dog, the dhole represents a path of evolution where success is measured not by individual strength, but by the ability to function as part of something larger. Its story is not loud, but it is deeply instructive, revealing how survival can emerge from trust, communication, and shared purpose. The evolutionary roots of the dhole stretch back hundreds of thousands of years, emerging within the dynamic and often unstable ecosystems of Asia. As climates shifted and prey species migrated or vanished, early dholes adapted by refining social strategies rather than physical dominance. Unlike wolves, which evolved larger bodies and deeper chests to overpower prey, dholes remained relatively light and agile. This physical restraint allowed them to move efficiently through dense forests and rugged terrain, environments where speed alone was insufficient and coordination became essential. Over time, the dhole expanded across a vast range, from India and Southeast Asia to parts of China and the Korean peninsula. Fossil records and genetic evidence suggest that their success depended on adaptability rather than specialization. They did not rely on a single prey species, nor did they dominate open plains. Instead, they thrived in forests, hills, and mixed landscapes where teamwork allowed them to compensate for their smaller size. This evolutionary path created a predator that does not hunt alone, does not defend territory aggressively, and does not survive through intimidation. Physically, the dhole appears modest when compared to other large carnivores. Its reddish coat blends seamlessly into forested environments, reducing visibility rather than advertising power. Its legs are long and slender, built for endurance rather than brute force. The jaw structure, while capable, lacks the crushing strength of larger canids, reinforcing a reliance on numbers and precision. Even the dhole's teeth reflect compromise, sharp enough for tearing but designed for efficiency rather than dominance. What truly distinguishes the dhole is not its body, but its behavior. Dholes live in highly organized packs, sometimes consisting of more than a dozen individuals. These packs are not ruled by constant aggression or rigid hierarchy. Instead, relationships are fluid, maintained through communication rather than force. Vocalizations play a critical role. Dholes are among the most vocal of wild canids, using whistles, chirps, and high-pitched calls to maintain cohesion during movement and hunts. These sounds travel efficiently through dense vegetation, allowing coordination without visual contact. Hunting for the dhole is a collective effort that relies on planning, persistence, and mutual awareness. Rather than ambushing prey individually, packs work together to isolate targets, often much larger than a single dhole could manage alone. They pursue with stamina rather than speed, wearing prey down through continuous pressure. This method reduces the risk to individual pack members and increases overall success. It is a strategy built on patience and trust, one that requires every member to understand its role. Intelligence within the pack emerges not as individual cleverness, but as shared understanding. Dholes adjust tactics based on terrain, prey behavior, and pack composition. Young individuals learn through observation rather than instruction, absorbing patterns of movement and response over time. This learning process creates a cultural memory within packs, passed from one generation to the next. In this way, dhole intelligence is collective, existing within relationships rather than isolated minds. Dietary flexibility further supports their survival. Dholes feed primarily on medium-sized ungulates, but they will also consume smaller mammals when necessary. This adaptability reduces dependence on any single prey population, an advantage in environments where resources fluctuate. Feeding is cooperative, with reduced conflict over access compared to many other predators. Hierarchy exists, but it is subtle, reinforced by routine rather than violence. Reproduction within dhole packs reflects the same cooperative philosophy. Breeding is typically limited to a dominant pair, reducing competition and ensuring stability. Other pack members participate in caring for the young, guarding dens, providing food, and teaching essential survival skills. This shared investment increases pup survival rates and strengthens social bonds. In a world filled with uncertainty, the dhole chooses redundancy over rivalry. Despite these strengths, the dhole faces immense challenges. Habitat fragmentation has reduced continuous forest cover, disrupting movement and isolating populations. Declining prey numbers force packs to travel farther, increasing conflict with humans. Unlike larger predators that inspire fear and respect, dholes often suffer from misunderstanding. They are blamed for livestock losses, persecuted, and displaced. Disease transmission from domestic dogs adds another layer of vulnerability, one that cooperation alone cannot solve. The ecological role of the dhole is profound. As a mid to large predator, it regulates herbivore populations, preventing overgrazing and supporting vegetation recovery. Its presence influences the behavior of prey species, shaping movement patterns and habitat use. When dholes disappear, ecosystems do not simply lose a predator. They lose a regulator, a stabilizing force that maintains balance through pressure rather than dominance. Human interaction with dholes has rarely been positive. Unlike wolves, which occupy a prominent place in mythology, dholes remain largely invisible in cultural narratives. This absence contributes to neglect. Conservation efforts often prioritize more iconic species, leaving the dhole overlooked despite its endangered status. Yet protecting the dhole means protecting entire ecosystems, preserving the quiet systems of cooperation that sustain biodiversity. The future of the dhole depends on understanding its value beyond spectacle. It is not a symbol of raw power, but of coordination. Not a conqueror, but a participant. Its survival challenges modern assumptions about strength, reminding us that resilience often emerges from connection rather than isolation. In the dhole, we see an alternative blueprint for life in complex systems. One where success is shared, where intelligence is distributed, and where survival depends on listening as much as acting. As forests shrink and silence spreads across once living landscapes, the disappearance of the dhole would not be dramatic. It would be quiet, and in that quiet, something essential would be lost.